Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Judge.
I am turned on, the live feed is on, and the recording is on. John, I need to give you a heads up. You might want to tell Jackie to pull these files. We got 4 of your clients got picked up on bench warrants, so we're going to polycom them here while I've got you at some point. Jamal Black, Garrett Whitmore, Chad Morningstar, and I guess that's it. The other one is Melissa's. I've got Dwight Summey, Cameron Holt, and Matt in the waiting room. Not sure who Matt is. Oh, Matt Bedford. TJ's going to come in on that. John, do you need to talk to Cameron Hope, or what does he want to do?
Probably just a few moments for Attorney Davis then.
And if you want me to talk to him with you at some point, we can do that as well.
I just lost him again. Tim, I thought we'd start with Mr. Summey.
Sure.
And then we'll make a record on Austin Luke's client, who isn't here yet. I forgot, Laura, during lunch to print bindovers. Could I have both bindovers on Dwight Summey? Good afternoon, Mr. Summey. This is Judge Middleton. I'm here at the court in Centerville, and we're doing this live on YouTube, and it is by Zoom. Do you have any objection to doing these proceedings by Zoom rather than live and in person?
You speaking to me?
Yes, sir.
No, I'd like Zoom is better for me.
Oh. All right. Well, let's talk about this. Your lawyer, Mr. Tim George, is here. You've got 2 very serious charges here. File 21886 alleges criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, 2 counts. And 887 alleges criminal sexual conduct in the 3rd degree. The criminal sexual conduct in the 3rd degree alleges that on or about October to November of 2020, you did engage in sexual penetration with a child who was over 13 but less than 16. That is a felony punishable up to 15 years imprisonment. The other count alleges that on or about June 1st to November 10th of 2020, you did engage in intercourse with a child less than 13 years of age. 2 counts, 3 counts. And one is penile oral penetration. Those are all set for preliminary examination here today. A preliminary examination is a hearing where it must be established that there is probable cause to believe that a crime was committed, probable cause that you did it. My understanding from talking with your lawyer, Mr. George, is that you're going to waive preliminary examination in these cases and have the matter bound over to the circuit court. By waiving preliminary examination, you aren't giving up your right to have a trial or admitting any guilt. You're simply acknowledging that the matter can be bound over to the circuit court on probable cause. But Mr. George, is that your understanding here?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis, sometimes prosecution wants to preserve testimony in these types of cases. Are you accepting a waiver here?
We do accept the waiver, Your Honor.
And if there is a waiver, is the plea offers still open for negotiation?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Summey, is that what you wish to do? Waive this preliminary examination in each of these cases?
Yes.
All right, let me read you this language. It applies to both files. I, Dwight Allen Summey, understand I have a right to employ an attorney and may request a court-appointed attorney if I'm financially unable to employ one. And we've appointed Mr. George. I have a right to a preliminary examination where it must be shown that a crime was committed and probable cause exists to charge me with the crime. I voluntarily waive my right to a preliminary examination and understand that I will be bound over to the circuit court for the charges, complaint, and warrant. Is that what you wish to do
Yes.
in both cases?
Yes.
All right. I understand that investigation has been ongoing in this matter. In the 886 case, the file is $20,000 cash or surety, which has been posted. There are conditions that you not have any contact with either victim or complaining witness in either of these cases. And apparently you're complying with that, because if you hadn't, I would have heard about it. In the other case, 887, bond is $15,000, cash or surety has been posted. Are you still at the Parkville Road address? Mr. Summey,
Yes.
are you employed?
Not at the moment, but I will be soon.
All right, well, I don't want you to get in any more trouble. These are very serious charges. I want you to comply with all the terms of the bond. They'll be set for what's called a status conference in the circuit court in the near future. It's important that you stay in contact with your attorney, Mr. George.
Definitely.
Do you have any questions? Mr. Summey,
Sorry.
do you have
Sorry,
any
what was that?
questions? Do you have any questions?
No.
All right.
I'm good.
Your bonds are continued, 20,000 cash or surety in one case, 15,000 in the other. It's important that you stay in contact with your attorney. All right, you're free to go on about your business.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Summey, all right, I'll release you from the session.
Thank you.
All right, now we need TJ to do Mr. Bedford. And we don't have Austin Wallace. We'll wait for him. We do have Cameron Hope. And I guess what we're going to do, Mr. Hope, is your attorney and the prosecutor want to meet with you privately and discuss your case for a moment. So I'm going to put you in the breakout room.
Okay.
I believe that's it for me, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Ms.
Yes,
Davis.
Thank you, Tim. Luke, have you had contact with Mr. Wallace?
No, I haven't.
Well, I was hopeful he would show up.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
I have a phone number for him. Why don't you try calling him while we're on hold here and see if you can get him to dial in?
I can try again. I have tried a couple times since this morning.
Oh, okay.
but
And no luck. All right, I'll just leave it at
I think I got an updated one from him too.
the number I have ends in 0023.
Oh, I'm on the wrong thing here.
Mr. Bedford, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There he is.
Thank you.
Judge, I don't have that one. What are the 3 middle digits?
I'll email it to you.
Sure.
Mr. Bedford, would you unmute your mic?
Yes.
Good morning, sir, or good afternoon. This is file 211231FY, People versus Matthew Lee Bedford. Your attorney, Mr. Timothy Reed, is here.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Reed and Ms. Davis, the prosecutor, and I had a discussion just before lunch, and we approved calling off the witnesses for your case today. Prelim is set for today at 1 o'clock. They had requested some video footage from the surveillance from a nearby bank. And apparently they got everything right up to when the relevant stuff starts. They did get the footage, but it cut off before the part they were interested in. And both your lawyer, Mr. Reed, and the prosecutor, Ms. Davidson, would like to have an opportunity to view that evidence. Mr. Reed, does that reflect what our discussion was this morning?
It does.
Deborah's not here right now. She's in the breakout room, but she confirmed this on the record here earlier this morning. Mr. Bedford, do you have any objection to doing this hearing by Zoom rather than live and in person?
No, sir.
All right, well, soon enough, we're probably going to be doing these live, but we decided that we're going to adjourn this matter and don't want to really jam up Judge Pattison. TJ, can we adjourn this to July 27th?
Hold on, let me pull my calendar up. Yeah, that's fine. I'm available.
All right, I'm going to continue this prelim to 7/27/21 at 1 p.m.
And I'm available that whole afternoon if the court wanted it later in the day, just if the court's aware. I mean,
As it turns out, I think that Judge Patterson's day anyway, but I don't want to go all the way to August 3rd. The odd numbered Tuesdays are sobriety court days.
gotcha.
And so it would be the 27th and the 3rd.
Gotcha.
All right. Mr. Bedford, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Davis has returned. Deborah, we've made a record to confirm what we discussed this morning. We're going to continue the preliminary examination of Mr. Bedford's case to July 27th at 1 o'clock, pending further discovery investigation in that case. Is that what we discussed this morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Reed, anything further we should put on the record here?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Matt, I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody else. Don't get in any more trouble until I see you the next time. Comply with all the terms of your bond and stay in contact with your lawyer. Your next hearing is 3 weeks from today. Hopefully they'll have that video before then and you can sit down with your attorney and watch it and see what it shows. But it shows everything right up to where the part they want to see. So they're working on getting the rest of it. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go.
Thanks, Matt. We'll talk to you soon. I got all those emails you sent me too, Matt.
All right,
So,
I'll remove him. Thank you, TJ.
thank you. All right.
Deborah, Luke was going to try to call his lawyer. See you later, Mr. Wallace.
Calling his lawyer? TJ beat him up
He
that
was
bad?
calling his
I
client.
need.
Luke was calling his
I
client.
need good.
The lawyer was
You know
calling his
that?
client.
I don't know any good one.
He needs some representation. He told me about a guy that I may have met who is renting some space downtown. We have another attorney that's maybe interested in coming here. Anyway, any luck finding Mr. Wallace?
No, I went straight to voicemail, Your Honor.
Well, he clearly knows about this. We told him about it at the pre-exam conference next week.
If I hear anything, I'll let the court let everyone be aware, because I think the plan here was to adjourn it to a PEC so it's in step with the co-defendant Forrest. So
Yes, we did want to set,
I guess you've got a week to find him.
for 7/13 and 7/20. Well, I'm going to do a bench warrant, hold of 48 hours. Deborah and I were discussing this morning. I can't make it any more convenient for people than to call in. And I'm very frustrated by our high percentage of no-shows. It's particularly high in some of the drug cases. I've got 5 polycoms to do on people that just didn't show up and got picked up on a bench warrant. These prelims soon enough will be live. But right now, these will still be by Zoom. I'm going to do a bench warrant. Clearly knows of this date because I told it to him. Bench warrant bond is 5,000 PR. Now it's 5,000 cash or surety. See judge, 48-hour hold. So if you get a hold of them, contact me. As I indicated, it's so terribly inefficient. All this stopping and starting and scheduling and rescheduling. Maybe somebody will see it on YouTube and tell him to get his butt in here. Anyway, 5,000 cash or surety and 48 hours before I issue the bond.
if I get a hold of him and we talk about the proposed adjournment to those dates, can I just let the parties know? I mean,
No, I want to eyeball him. He doesn't get to just call you. He's got to come see me. So even if we do it tomorrow or something,
Okay.
but he doesn't get to phone it in. I want to look at him. All right, but that's the plan. You can tell him, look, dum-dum, we're gonna adjourn this, try to get both cases together. The least you could do is show up and give us a working telephone number. All right, thank you, Luke. Take the rest of the day off.
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll see you guys.
All right, take care, Luke.
Debbie, I thought when you were in private practice, everybody could just take the day off whenever they wanted.
No, never a day off. Always working.
John
Debbie,
John just sort of smiled at that.
Debbie,
Yeah.
he's got to execute a waiver.
Okay.
Or I guess verbally.
Just on the record?
Yeah, I guess
Sure.
I misspoke. He doesn't sign it. He'll verbally do it.
All right.
Sure.
Laura, could I have a bind over sheet on Cameron Hope? Good afternoon, Mr. Hope. This is Judge
Hello, how you
Middleton
doing, brother?
here in Centerville.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. We had a busy morning and our afternoon has kind of fallen into place.
That's
You're another guy I've known since you were about 17 and knew your
Well,
mom
before
and
that.
your grandmother, and here we are.
Yes,
You're
sir.
charged with, okay, so I knew your dad too.
Yes, sir.
This is file 211011FY, People versus Cameron Stefan Holt. Charged with carrying concealed weapon and 2 counts of possession of fire, or 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon, a count of resisting or obstructing a police officer. That matter is set for a preliminary examination here this afternoon. You guys had an opportunity to meet in a breakout room and then privately with your attorney. It's my understanding you're going to waive the preliminary examination in this case at this time.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Cameron, do you have any objection to doing this proceeding via Zoom?
No, sir.
Most people don't. At least you show up every time. You just heard me complaining about people that don't show up.
Yes, sir.
Although it seems like I have had to chase you around a time or two, but you're here now, so
Yeah, in the past.
that's
I
good.
ain't doing that no more. I ain't running from nothing. That's over with.
All right. The preliminary examination waiver says that I, Cameron Hope, let me get the thing in here. She's bringing me the paper copy. Understand that I have a right to employ an attorney. I may request a court-appointed attorney if I'm financially unable to employ one. I have a right to a preliminary examination where it must be shown that a crime was committed and probable cause exists to charge me with the crime. I voluntarily waive my right to a preliminary examination and understand that I will be bound over to the circuit court on the charges in the complaint and warrant. Is that what you wish to do?
Yes, sir.
This will preserve the ability to continue to negotiate a plea agreement. You're not admitting any guilt. You're simply acknowledging that the prosecution could prove beyond a probable cause standard that you did these things. Are you working someplace?
Not at the moment, sir. The plant that I was about to start at is down for 2 weeks. The second week of July it starts back. So
All right.
that's next week.
Well, if you move or change your circumstances or phone number or anything, you need to let Mr. Bush know. And
Yes, sir.
The matter will be set for a status conference in circuit court. You posted a fairly substantial bond of $20,000 cash or surety. Again, same advice, don't get in any more trouble. Follow the conditions of your bond and stay in contact with your attorney. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Bush, any further we need to do in this case?
Nothing, Your Honor. I believe that covers it completely.
All right. Deborah, I have 4 polycoms. I don't know if you want to get involved in these. They're all Johns.
Yeah.
3 of them are Johns. One is Deborah. I would appreciate that. Mr. Hope, you're good to go.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
Take
Can you
care.
excuse me for a couple of moments to track down, get a
All right, I
judge?
got to dial the jail up here.
Okay.
And I don't know if Judge Stutzman's got one of the rooms in use. Again, these. Hello, Deputy Tyler. Well, I apologize. I need to see several customers. It was a big holiday weekend and people got arrested. So I got, have you got a space?
That's the thing. We have the space, we don't have to heat power.
Uh,
he met with Judge Stutzman.
Well, I thought Judge Stutzman, is he doing drug court today? Otherwise, we're gonna be a long time before we can do these. I have the availability of John Bush. So if you can't do them, then I'm
Well,
not.
I can figure something out.
All right, I'm looking for Jamal Black,
Okay.
Garrett Whitmore,
Okay.
Chad Morningstar, Dallas Davison, and Deborah Davis. Oh, wait a minute, she's already here.
Deborah Davis.
Getting rumors with Jeremy out there.
She's already here,
There you
okay.
go.
Uh,
Black, Whitmore, Morningstar, and Davison.
Yes,
Okay, I can get 3 of the 4. The only one I'm gonna have a hard time with is Jamal Black. He is over our CIT room because he answered yes to all of our COVID questions.
oh boy, all right,
Keep him isolated, and the CIT room is where Judge Stutzman is seeing his people.
all right, well, let's see the other 3 and we'll do the best we can.
Okay, I'll get the 3 of them, and hopefully by the time we're done with them, maybe just Judge Stutzman will be tied up.
All right, thanks.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
give
all right,
you
bye.
1 minute, and I'll give him this.
All right, thank you, you're always so helpful, appreciate it. All right, bye.
Bye.
Actually, we now have 3 different rooms.
Oh, wow,
The
really?
first original Polycom room, and then we have the arraignment room and the CIT room, which is I'm not sure what that is, but we have a 3rd space. And as you know, we were jammed up if we had more than 1 court. The problem is they don't have enough corrections officers. But again, people don't remember the bad old days when they had to drive up here in a car with everybody that needed to be seen by the court and duck their heads in and out of the car and put them in that crummy little lockup back there. And so it is a brighter day, but it still puts stress on the jail.
I actually went to the jail today and visited clients, and I was in the same room with them across from a table for the first time in about a year and 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they call the CIT room. One of your clients, Mr. Black, may have some health issues, so we may have to wait because we're going to have to do him from that room. John, in his case, he missed some pre-trials in driving suspended cases. I didn't see that he got anything else. Garrett Whitmore failed to appear for A and B. He'd been in and out of jail in LaGrange County, so I'm interested to know what his story is.
That was the last I'd heard. He was in jail on June 13th in LaGrange, I think.
Chad Morningstar, we did try a show cause. He didn't show up, and he got arrested. So he missed a prelim on a meth case. We'll just reset a PEC and a prelim on that one.
That's fine.
And then the other one is Dallas Davison, who is Melissa's. And I'm just going to take care of that. Did you have a nice time in Cincinnati?
Yes, I did. We had an excellent time. Went to 2 Cubs-Reds games. Had Andrew's 31st birthday. It seemed like normal. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
How hot was it down there?
It wasn't as bad as it could have been. It probably was in the low 90s, which is,
Because Cincinnati was supposed to be one of the hottest ballparks.
yes.
I think the worst one in the league is St. Louis, that artificial turf, and it'd be like 120 degrees out there on the surface. But
We had a very, very good time.
how good for you. And I appreciate the fact you were able to do some stuff remotely from there.
And that's been my mobile office a few times during COVID from Andrew's little home office room.
All right.
Who would you like first?
Well, let's start with Garrett Whitmore.
Okay, 1 minute. I'll get him right in here.
This is very helpful, Deputy Tyler.
No, do you have a preference on who you have second? So I can just keep them coming once I got them going.
I'd like to see Chad Morningstar next.
Okay. Give me 1 minute. I'll get the first one coming in.
And John, I appreciate what I try to do is if I can get the original attorney for these Polycom arraignments,
We might be able to take care of them this time. Right?
Possibly, or, try to get Keith, but sometimes he's not available. Yeah, and sometimes we take care of it. We had a case with Christine last week, and we took care of a difficult, messy case very efficiently between Deborah and Christine, so sometimes it can be very helpful. So Debbie, I appreciate your sticking around.
I was planning on doing a prelim, so now that we don't have.
Plan on doing 5 prelims, including a double CSC prelim, whatever. This has to be better than that.
Oh, yeah. I would take this over that any day.
How's the young CSC? I mean, I was his attorney in the juvenile court and use neglect for years. I've known him pretty well. So is he doing okay? Or, I don't, is this all over the record? I don't want to.
Yeah, we better stop. We are on the record here. Good afternoon, Mr. Whitmore. Can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is Judge Middleton. I'm here at the courthouse in Centerville. Also present is Deborah Davis from the prosecutor's office and your attorney, Mr. John Bush. You were charged with assault and battery. Let me go to the original complaint here. It's alleged that on or about August 12th of 20, almost a year ago, that you assaulted Tasha Lytle. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. You've already spent some time in jail. You got arrested in August of 2020. Yeah, on the 13th, you posted bond and you got 1 day credit. Then you promptly didn't show up for your arraignment, and we did an order to show cause. Then you didn't show up for that. Then we issued another warrant for your arrest. Then you got arrested on March 6th of 21.
Every time I miss court, Your Honor.
And bonded out on March 9th, so that's 3 days. Then when you originally had Judge Attorney Gibson, then we gave you Judge Attorney Bush. Then we had an attorney pretrial. We set a last pretrial. And then you failed to show up for that on June 17th. So we issued a bench warrant. We understood you were in custody in LaGrange County, which may be a legitimate excuse. So we waited a while. We set a show cause hearing for June 23rd. You didn't show up for that. And then we tried to forfeit your bond. So let me ask you a question. When did you get to jail in Centerville?
Last night, Your Honor.
From LaGrange?
No, I was arrested last night in Sturgis.
How'd they arrest you?
Officer Kreitz, Sergeant Kreitz in Sturgis, knew I had a warrant, so he stopped me.
So you just got picked up on this warrant?
Yes.
How long were you in the LaGrange County Jail?
I was just released from there. I did 11 days down there, and then I was released back in March. I just got done doing 6 months.
All right. Well, anyway, you didn't show up here, and then you got picked up on the warrant. Did you know there was a warrant for your arrest?
I actually tried to call when I got out. I left a message with Mr. Bush's office to try to figure something out. And I also tried to call the, I believe it's the clerk's office when I got out. I tried to think about what was needing to be done.
Well, what needed to be done is you needed to come in here. All right. So he got arrested last night. Is there anything we can do here? Deborah, you have any suggestions? So far, he's got 1, 3, 4, 5 days jail credit. on this offense.
On May 14th, we made a counter offer, which was not accepted, of disturbing the peace. I certainly don't know Ms. Davis's position today.
Well, have the Indiana felonies resolved, the one from June 16th that is still showing as pending, and June 4th showing as pending? There's a possession of meth from June 4th and an auto theft from June 16th.
Do you have charges pending?
That auto theft was dropped down to possession of stolen auto parts, and both of them cases are being fought because both of them cases are.
All right, so you have 2 felonies pending in Indiana?
Yes, I do.
And you posted bond on those?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Let me double check something real quick before I make any offer.
That is the reason why I missed court this last time, because I was incarcerated in LaGrange County.
All right. Are you back on South Centerville Road?
I'm at 800 Mechanic Street.
In Sturgis?
Yes.
Is that where you got arrested?
No, I got arrested out behind Walmart last night, Your Honor.
What time was that?
I want to say probably 2 o'clock.
In the morning?
Yes.
Well, no wonder you got arrested.
It looks like we don't have a victim impact statement back, and we've
I thought there was one.
No, why I can't view this in here.
I could be mistaken.
We'll check. Looks like I just have that we've sent her letters.
Okay.
So at this point, we would offer disturbing the peace.
All right, this case is almost a year old. The victim has not responded. Mr. Whitmore, the prosecutors offered to dismiss the charge of assault and battery for a plea to disturbing the peace. Disturbing the peace doesn't matter who was right or wrong or who started it. Was there a quarrel, argument, or disagreement in a public place? Do you understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you willing to plead to that lesser charge of disturbing the peace?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me ask you a couple of questions. Other than the plea agreement here, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No, Your Honor.
Or threaten you?
No.
Do you understand that if you plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Bush has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. And you would have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Understand all that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. On this day, did you get in some of a quarrel or argument or disagreement with Tasha Lytle?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me what happened.
Me and my girlfriend, we were staying with them at the time. Tasha and her husband. I had an appointment that day. My appointment ran a lot longer than what it was supposed to have been. And there was an argument about having the car back at a certain time. And then when we returned back to the residence, Tasha was irate. She had already went through and packed up mine and my girlfriend's stuff. And then when we tried to get our stuff, she tried to block us from entering, or block me from entering the residence to get our stuff. So I put my foot in the door and was trying to push on the door so that way I could get our stuff out of there.
And did the door hit her in the head?
That I don't know. I do not believe so, but I cannot say for 100% sure.
All right, Deborah, are you satisfied with that factual basis?
It's sufficient.
All right, Mr. Whitmore, I'm gonna release you on a $500 PR bond and set this for sentence for 7/28. That's a Wednesday. Does that work for you, Mr. Bush?
Is that face-to-face or Zoom?
Zoom.
At what time?
I'd like to hear from Tasha Leigel.
At what time on June 28th?
11 a.m.
July 28th?
28.
July 28th at 11 a.m.
You also owe some fines and costs in 20-1047. Let's take a look at that. You could help your cause by paying those.
Judge, at this time, that's my circuit court trial date.
Okay.
Haven't had the status conferences to lead up to it, but those dates are crossed off for trial.
You owe money in $150, $325 by May 21st or 5 days for
Okay,
Judge
sir.
Pattison.
Can I set up a plan on that? So I can make
No.
it.
You had months and months, and so far you haven't paid 1 cent. So let's see what you can pay between now and the sentencing date. It is not going to be that day, July 28th, because Mr. Bush isn't available. Let's look at August 3rd.
At what time, Judge?
Let's take a look. It'd be August 2nd, I guess.
August 2nd at 11?
That's packed. Oh, that should be all right. August 2nd at 11.
August 2nd at 11.
And Mr. Whitmore, it would be helpful if you would pay something on those. Otherwise, we can just work out all this with a jail sentence. I don't know what Ms. Lytle's gonna say about this. Normally, I don't do additional jail on disturbing the peace, but you got several cases where you were given fines, much time to pay, and didn't pay 1 cent. The only reason there isn't a bench warrant now is because we stopped doing them for COVID time. Does that work for you, Mr. Bush?
Yes, Your Honor. August 2nd at 11 is fine.
All right. One option, Mr. Whitmore, is to just leave you in jail until August 2nd when I do the sentence. That's probably not real popular with you, so I'm going to give you a PR bond. I don't know what you were doing at 2 o'clock in the morning behind the Walmart store on a Sunday night. But if you keep doing stuff like that, you're going to get rearrested, and I'll see you before that date. Anyway, August 2nd, that's a Monday at 11 a.m. I'll do the sentence at this time. Please don't make me do another bench warrant. All right. We'll send you that information to the Mechanic Street address. All right, Mr. Whitmore, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whitmore.
All right, well, we did get that case resolved. Thank you both. There's Luke and Knopfsaker. John, are you available for a PEC next Tuesday on this?
Let me see.
With prelim the following Tuesday. It's hot in here, Deborah, you're right. It's
No,
humid.
I seriously am concerned it's taking off my jacket. It's not like you can see my arms, really.
Already there for PECs next Tuesday.
All right, well, we'll get him in here. Poor Judge Pattison, he's getting overwhelmed here. What's up with this? Good afternoon, morning, sir. Are you Chad Morningstar?
Yes, sir.
How come they didn't give you a shirt?
I don't know, it's hot in here.
It's hot in here too. Anyway, this is file 211207FY, People versus Chad Michael Morningstar. Mr. Morningstar, you're charged with possession of methamphetamine. You had a preliminary examination, which was scheduled for June 29th. And Mr. Bush had talked to you the previous day. You didn't show up. So we're going to reset this for pre-exam. We've already confirmed with Mr. Bush that he's available next Tuesday. So I'm going to reset pre-exam for July 13th. And your bond is $10,000 cash or surety. I don't know why you didn't show up. We may inquire about that further. When you come to court next time, wear a shirt. This is a court proceeding, and maybe we all feel like we're showing up in our bathing suit, but we can't. So your case is set for next Tuesday at 9 a.m. If you don't post a bond, you're going to remain in custody. If you do post a bond, you need to contact your attorney. Do you think you're going to be able to make the bond?
Probably not this time.
All right, then Mr. Bush will be in contact with you at.
I mean, you couldn't do anything for me, so I don't know why you're gonna contact me. That's why I didn't go to court, because you couldn't give me an answer on what we're gonna do.
Well, we'll worry about that next Tuesday. I don't know anything about the case. I know what you're charged with. You seem a bit off track here right now. Let's see what kind of track you're on next Tuesday. You can go back. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's hot in here.
I mean, if all of us just showed up without clothes on.
Luke, did you have any luck with your client?
Yes, I did, and I believe he's calling in.
Okay.
I had to put my shirt back on.
Oh, good. Thank you for that.
That's not.
I'm surprised they let him do that. Maybe it was just easier to.
I mean, they're short-staffed, right? Maybe the concierge isn't there to pass out the
It's usually
shirts.
pretty cool in the jail too, so I'm surprised. He said it was hot.
All right, here's your client. If I can find it. Mr. Davison, just have a seat. We'll be with you in just a moment. Mr. Wallace, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Middleton, this is Austin Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. I don't know why you didn't show up, but your lawyer went out of his way to contact you because I was about to issue a bench warrant for your arrest.
I started calling right away. I apologize. I just started a new job, and I thought the alarm that I had set was for me to get ready to go to work at the same time. So it was a mistake. I'm so sorry.
Well, we're about to make people come back to court. I can't make it any easier for you than to have you call in. But at least we got it. I didn't want to do a bench warrant because it's a lot of rigmarole. Anyway, you've got a co-defendant named
Darren
Forrest. What's his name?
Forrest.
Darren Forrest. We're gonna try to coordinate these two cases.
I appreciate
And set them at the
taking
same time.
the time.
So we're gonna reset this pre-exam conference for July 13th at 9 a.m. That's a week from today at 9 in the morning. Your lawyer's gonna be there, Mr. Forrest's lawyer's gonna be there, the prosecutor's gonna be there. If they can work the cases out, fine. If not, there will be a preliminary examination on July 20th at 1 where they'll actually take testimony. Are you still out on Floating Bridge Road?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, and
He does have a new note.
where's your new job?
I work at the Lightning Quim 60. It's right before you get to Jones, if you're coming from Three Rivers.
All right. Now, when we do the prelim, if we do get to that point, you're going to need a better signal than this. But you got, your lawyer has your new number and your address is the same. You need to be here next Tuesday morning. That's July 13th at 9 a.m. Okay?
I'm writing it down right now. You said Tuesday, July 13th at 9 a.m., sir?
Yes, we'll send you that note.
All right.
Stay in contact with your lawyer.
Got it.
Very good.
Absolutely. Thank you much for giving me the chance.
All right, well, you thank your lawyer. He went the extra mile to try to keep you from getting arrested. So I'll see you next Tuesday morning. All right, very good.
Sir, you have one.
Thank you.
Justin.
All
See you
right,
guys.
thank you, Luke.
Thank
for
you.
your
We'll see you.
help.
Really this time. No, really this time. Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
This is Dallas Davison, file 21313FY. Mr. Davidson, your lawyer, Melissa Halleck, is not here. Prosecutor Deborah Davis is here. This case has got quite a tortured history. I think you had a warrant out in another case, 211087. There was a probation violation hearing scheduled in this case, and you failed to appear.
I believe that's correct.
So we issued this bench warrant. So I'm trying to see what happened in that other case.
It was a dirty urine screen, Your Honor.
Driving suspended second, authorized complaint filed. I don't know what the status of that is. But there's a warrant coming. I'm gonna reset this probation violation hearing. Are you still living in Vicksburg?
Yes, sir, I am.
How did you come to get arrested this weekend?
Well, it was the 4th of July, sir, and I knew I had a warrant. Sir, I knew I had a dirty urine screen, and I panicked, and I said screw it, and I stopped going to everything. I panicked.
All right, well, yeah, okay, I appreciate that. Don't tell me too much about that, but did you get picked up in Vicksburg or here?
Yes, sir. No, the officer came to my home, said to my girlfriend, we see him in there, and she came in and said, the cops see you, and I went outside and said, okay, let's just get it over with.
I didn't run. I didn't give the cop any guff or anything. I knew it was coming. I just wanted to get it over.
All right. Well, the good news is we'll get this done. You won't have to look over your shoulder. The bad news is you're sitting in there, but we'll get this taken care of. Bond canceled, set PV hearing. We'll set it ASAP, as in this week.
So will I be?
Or July 13th. Also, we need warrant. In 21-1087. We'll get a hold of Ms. Halleck and set this as soon as we can. Mr. Davidson, it sounds like you may need a day or two to just get your mind straight.
Sir,
And, yes?
I'm sorry. May I?
Go ahead.
Sir, I've done nothing but thinking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. Okay, sir, can you give me the chance to show you that I can show up on this myself? You gave me the chance to do it the very first time, and I held to my word, and I came to when you gave me a probation, or I'm sorry, not probation violation, when you gave me a PR bond the first time, I came to it.
All right, well, we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this more when your lawyer is here, but right now, there isn't any bond. I want to see how you are in a day or so. We'll get her in here. As it turns out, you just sat around because you were afraid and waited around to get arrested. I just want to get this resolved. We may be able to do this as soon as tomorrow, depending on the availability of your attorney. So I'll talk to you further when she's here, but I don't want you to say anything that implicates yourself. I didn't try to get her here on very short notice, but I'll be talking to you the next day or so. All right, you're good to go. Then I need Deputy Tyler.
Where do I go?
I'm not sure. I don't know if that door is locked.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. At least he had a shirt on. I don't know where they go. If they just wander around the hall at the jail or what the status is. John, is that room on the lockdown side?
It is. When they walk out there, it's like a hallway. It's like the kitchen and stuff is to the right, and booking is directly to the left.
They've changed some things around. I used to go there all the time. Right now, I can't remember the last time I was on the lockdown side. How's Mr. Black doing?
I just spoke with Deputy Metz. He's over there with him. He can be seen, but we have to do it in the room over on the other end.
Is that room available? We have to wait.
It will be very shortly. Judge Stutzman is seeing his last person right now.
All right. Well, I don't want to make everybody just hang around.
I had the whole afternoon crossed off to do the prelim, Your Honor, so I can't speak for
All
Ms.
right.
Davis, but
Jeremy,
I'm available.
I'm fine.
Why don't you just give us a call? It could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 35 minutes. So I appreciate your protocols, and thanks for going out of your way to help us here. Call up here when you're ready, and then we'll get everything set up again. All right, what I'll do, I'll send both of you an email when they're ready. All right, what's that?
You want me to call you when Judge Stutzman's finished?
Yeah, please.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Black has also some money that he owes. He got picked up for, I'm not clear on this, Deborah. Both of these events were January 2nd. And he got picked up on March 8th. I have to take a closer deep dive at this. 21293ST and 21-22ST. 2 charges for the same day.
I will take a look.
All right, thank you.
Did he get new charges when he was arrested, whenever he was arrested this past weekend?
I didn't see any.
Okay.
I looked. They usually don't tell me, but I did during lunch. I worked on these files. I didn't see any.
Well, that helps.
All right, I'll see you in a bit. Thanks for your help, John.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Thanks. Okay, we'll stop our live feed and turn off the recording. We don't know this will be 5 minutes or 2 hours. This is the last case we have scheduled for today. The prelims all